And I'm Jessica Bishop.
And you're listening to Through Dangers Untold, a monthly art podcast about traversing the precarious gap between art school and a professional, sustainable art career. And Jess, what are you working on this week?
I'm working on finishing up a project for a client, and I think I finished another painting today, actually. That's
Ooh,
been part of, I haven't really talked about it publicly, but the last few paintings I've done have all been like part of the same kind of group, like series.
mm-hmm.
So I have to like make a post and write about that and explain it all. But I think I just finished the fourth one today.
Awesome.
Yeah, so somewhat productive January so far, kinda.
That's excellent.
Even though both these projects I started before, but we don't have to for Christmas, but we can.
You completed them
Yeah.
now. It's January completion.
Yeah. What are you working on?
Well, I have been setting up my project schedule for the year and just kind of setting my goals and um yeah, well, we'll probably talk about this more, but I have been working on setting up a commission kind of instruction sheet form thingy.
Mm, cool.
Yeah, because I want to do more map commissions. I want to open up to that and maybe even think about
That's
doing.
such a good idea.
Yeah, I had so much
Sorry.
no, no. I had so much fun doing like the couple I did for my campaign, and I'll probably be doing more, and I've just enjoyed them so much. So I want to open up to doing those. But I
Yeah,
have
I mean,
yeah.
sorry, go
No, no,
ahead.
no, no, go ahead.
I was just saying, like, I think we could all tell that you really enjoyed making that because it was really cool. You
Thank you.
you did a nice job with your map.
Thank you. Yeah, I had a lot of fun. So,
Good.
yeah, trying to figure out commission prices and get that kind of all worked out. And I have a couple commissions coming along uh this month and then next month. So, that's nice.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. And then I have, of course, well, anyway, lots of things. We'll talk about our plans and things, but yeah.
Yay.
So this month we wanted to talk about some of the things we accomplished last year or worked on. Since we didn't get a recap episode, a recap episode like Anime.
Mhm.
uh, for the Christmas special. Uh, and then our plans for this year as well. So Jess, were there things last year that you worked on that you just felt like you learned something cool about, or that you liked,
I
or
mean, last year was like a weird year. I mean, to be fair, all these past few years have been really weird because I've been moving so much and
mm-hmm.
just trying, figure some generic life things out. But I think like I was very unproductive last year when it comes to like making art. I mean, it's not that bad, but it was less art than I would have liked to have made.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we've talked about this a little bit, just about how, seeing like the decade wrap up or year end wrap up for people, and it's really hard not to compare because some people are like, I finished 100 paintings, and I'm like, what? And like, that's amazing. Like, where do I get your focus? Because you're obviously very disciplined. Because like I only finished. I mean, I did more than six painting. I did six what I would consider full paintings.
Nice.
Um, which is it could have been worse. It could have been worse. But I think
Yeah.
like I really tripped myself up when I got did Dragon Con because I could not handle it. I like being like a first show. I was so nervous and I was like a wreck for a few months leading up to that.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of like stopped making art and I was just trying to like figure out how all that was going to work, and just I was busy stressing out for no reason. Um, so then I did like most of my so all my paintings were done like before I found out that I was getting to Dragon Con, and then after Dragon Con was over.
Hmm.
So a good 6 months of the year I was not doing anything.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense.
So, like, now, like, I'm glad I did it because now I've learned how to better handle that.
Hmm.
So, like, now I'm doing another show. This one's local though, and a little small, like a lot smaller. So that, but it's already like easier for me to manage because I'm not so worried about it. Like, I've got an idea of what needs to be done, and I'll get it done.
Nice.
Um, so yeah, I learned a lot in that regard, like how I can maybe try to make better use of my time,
Hmm.
and like try to, and like and I learned just a little bit more about shows, and like I think like, it's I learned stuff. I think there's a lot to talk about. Like, we were also talking this week kind of about like rejection and stuff, and how like being an artist, or really in any career, there's like waves of rejection and then waves of acceptance.
Hmm.
But we can talk about that later. But I thought that was an interesting thing to think about, because like that article we read, just talking about how
Yeah.
you think it's always like a mountain, like an uphill climb, and then you get to a peak, and then that's it, instead of
Hmm.
it being like hills.
Yeah. Yeah, I loved that. I thought that was a really good article. What was it?
Yeah, it was.
The one person was calling it a chessboard. I loved that. Instead of a instead of a through line.
Yeah,
And I think that's so
it
true.
it really is. And it's hard because it's like you expect, like, once you get one thing, like I got Dragon Con and I was hoping, okay, well, now I'll get more things. And that's just like not necessarily true at all.
Yep.
And I think that was kind of like a stressful expectation I set on myself. And I'm kind of trying to like reel it back a little bit. Like, it's okay. You don't have to do as good or better to still be valid.
Yes.
Like, in this next year, just like keep trying. And that, like, the most important part.
Yes. Yes.
So I think that is an in progress lesson. That, I mean, that's probably in progress for everyone. But
Yes. Definitely. It's a
well,
good
what
one.
about you?
Um, I did more shows than I had ever done in a year last year. And it was only like 4, but for me that's a lot.
That is a lot.
I mean, I know some people do 30.
Yeah, that's
No.
that is some strict planning,
I
some
can't do
discipline.
it.
It's
Because
exhausting.
it is exhausting, and like you just like it takes a lot out of me. Um I can't focus uh on art when I'm trying to do um stressful show stuff.
Mhm, mhm. I
And
can't either.
even after, it takes me time to like wind down too. So yeah, I didn't do a lot of art last year at all, actually. I think I only finished one painting. And I continued to do my studies all year. And I did some fan art and I did maps. But I've had a lot of times in my life where I've had very fallow periods, and I've had very productive periods, and I find that the protective stuff always comes back, and it always usually benefits from the quiet time.
Mhm.
So I try not to get too down on myself. I mean, I feel bad about it and I get disappointed in myself, but I try not to, because I know that when I get back to creating, I'll have a nice long streak of creativity and I'll get it done. But it's just getting back to that, you know, that is kind of the hard part.
Yeah.
Um, So, yeah, I am so glad I did those shows. I learned a lot about what my market is, and I found a couple that I will do again for sure. I've tried some new things that I hadn't done before. Um, I I had one of my favorite con experiences ever at FairyCon, and so I mean, all of that was super worthwhile. And each one too, like you're saying, Jess, like each one I did, I got a little less stressed about it. I got a lot more familiar with the process, and I felt, less worried about it. So, yeah.
We did learn.
We did.
It's so like I've felt so bad about like these past few years, like all the time, and I'm just like I haven't done anything. But then I'm like, okay, I guess I've done a few things, but it feels like nothing.
Oh, I know. It's
You
easy
know,
to feel that way. Yeah, for sure.
like it never feels like enough because I think like
Yes.
I do think a big problem with that is also the social media because you're constantly
Yes.
being like it's a good thing and a bad thing. You're constantly seeing other people's successes, which is great. It's great to share your successes, but then it's also like it's very difficult not to internalize it against yourself.
Yes. I agree.
And so like there have definitely been times where I've just been like I have to like immediately get off social media right now because I can sense where my brain is going to go like with this right now.
Yeah.
It's eh, yeah, it's very frustrating.
Yeah. If I get into a headspace where I know it's going to be bad for me, I set a app lock up on my phone so that I can't look at it.
I should do that.
I
My
have to.
god.
I'll go through
I should do it on my
streaks.
computer too.
I'll go through streaks where I'm fine and I can handle it, and then other times I just can't. So I have like a window where I can check it every day just to make sure, to get any, like, have like from 4 to 5 to do like if I need to post or if I need to follow up with anything. But I keep it really narrow.
Yeah, it's just you get sucked into it and then you get sucked into what other people are. It's kind of like okay, this is probably a terrible analogy, but it's kind of like when you play The Sims and you just get really into your Sims life and
Yeah.
like okay, they have a new career in The Sims where you can be a digital artist
Oh
working
no.
from home.
Oh no.
And I tried doing it and it just like the existential dread that came over me as I'm telling my sim to go work on the commission digitally on its iPad. And
Oh.
I'm just sitting there watching my sim be productive and I'm just watching like
Oh no.
the little bladder sign go down and the food sign because they're like hungry and have to pee and
No. It's too real.
yeah, so it's just like I can't. I'm sticking with being a chef and being a gardener because those are my favorite Sims careers.
Oh, that sounds lovely.
Right? Because it's all the like great parts about those careers without actually doing the career.
Yes.
So I'm like, oh man, I can't.
No, that's too much.
I thought that was fascinating though. I was like, I wonder what it was like for like the artists and programmers who worked on making that part
Oh no.
like of The Sims, you know.
That's funny.
They were probably like, oof, yikes.
Too close.
Yeah, especially since you can like also like in The Sims 4 like make games for a living or like program for a living and like do stuff at home. Like you can like make apps or like for companies from your house. It's crazy.
Whoa.
But yeah, that's what social media feels like sometimes, where you're just like watching other people be productive and successful instead of like spending the time on yourself.
Yes.
Whether you're being productive or you're chilling, it doesn't matter. But
Yes, exactly.
yeah, yeah. The lesson is get off Twitter.
At least for a little bit.
Twitter is a hellscape
It is.
of sadness.
A lot of times.
But like everyone just gets sucked into it.
Yeah, there can be really good content and good things on there, but it's just, yeah, you have to be.
There can be or terrible. Remember? Okay, I
Yeah,
don't know if you saw this.
oh
Like a
no.
few weeks ago, the one guy from BuzzFeed who does the comics and that kind of like cutesy. It's not cute. It is kind of cute style. I think his name is Adam. I can't quite remember. But
Yeah.
anyway, he posted the like children's art kit and was like, "Don't buy this for your kids or people because they're really not good."
Oh,
And like,
is
you
that
should
where
just
that
find out.
started?
Yeah, and he was like,
Oh,
you should just figure out what kind of art supplies they want and just buy them that. Like if they like pencils or pens or whatever, because that's like
right,
better and more efficient. And like
right.
art Twitter lost it.
I
People were
saw
just
that.
attacking him. Like,
Oh,
and I'm like, I guess it could like, yeah, I get it. Like he's like a privileged artist and like that's easy for him to say. But at the same time, like I really don't think he like
yeah, it was what a mess. Like, oh.
there were
That
like
just immediately made me
few
super
things like that.
tired. Like, why are we even
I
talking about
know.
this?
There were like a few things on art Twitter the past few weeks, like over the holidays, that were just like, oh God, people, we gotta
Yeah,
stop.
it's so much. Like, oh, it's so much. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not good.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like, exhausting.
It is exhausting. Yeah.
So, like, as you're planning for this year, are you like, how detailed are you planning out your projects?
Um, it depends what I'm doing. So I'm gonna try for a Kickstarter in August again for the pins
Ooh,
if I can get that all worked out. Um, I started planning for this last year, so
right.
it's like detailed over time. But
That's fair.
yeah, this year I've planned out like when I want to start my marketing push for it, kind of when I want to have things ready on the Kickstarter site, when I need to get the budget together, which is these first 2 months of the year. So I have it because I've done it before. I have kind of an idea of what I need and how long I need to get it done. And I've got a yearly plan with each of the months, and I just kind of mark down, well, this is where the deadline is for each of these things. So it's pretty
Are you like,
basic.
are you planning like your paintings out too? Like what each one will be?
No,
Or okay, okay.
no. If I'm doing a specific project like this with the pins, well, no. Like I do it like I do everything. I'll have an idea stage at the beginning where I just kind of go, well, what do I want to do, and then I figure it out, and then I plan from that point. But I don't really plan ahead. Like, oh, these are the things I want to do.
Okay.
I have like ideas in my brain and ideas in my sketchbooks, but they just kind of rattle around until they're ready.
That's a great way to describe it.
Is that how you do
really,
things?
like, kinda, you definitely plan much more than me, which is why I always ask because I find it so fascinating, like how your brain works sometimes, like with your art. So I'm just like, that is not what happens to me.
That's
But
okay
yeah,
though.
sometimes like there are so many times where I will like draw something and then just like toss it aside and then like clip out parts of that painting into a new painting.
Yeah.
Like I do that constantly. Like almost every single one of my art pieces, like I paint on top of another art piece.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, like for example, the one I finished today, there's a dolphin in it. What a surprise. Um, I just like clipped the head from that dolphin I drew a few months ago and I just plopped it on there. I was like, that's a dolphin head.
Yeah.
Done. I already drew a dolphin head. Like, why do I have to draw another one? Also, this is
That
not
is
great
fine.
process. Like it's fine process, but it's also funny because I'm like, this is why I've gotten bad at figure drawing. Because I'm like, I already drew a person. Like I'm done, right? 'Cause, like, that's actually something I wanted to work on this year was doing, like, a lot more, like, studies and, like, trying to, like, actually, like, leave my house and maybe try to go and do some, like, figure drawing, things, like, because there's a lot of
Nice.
places that do it, like, for free and stuff,
Ooh,
or,
cool.
like, for a small donation, but, like, I'd have to leave my house.
That sounds awesome, though.
I know, I need, like, a buddy. I need a little art buddy. Stop it.
I wish I could. That sounds so fun.
Yeah, it's like there are a few places that do it, and it's like, especially when it's a place that serves food too, that's great.
Ooh.
Yeah, or like alcohol, but
That
but
sounds
yeah,
awesome.
it's yeah, processes are interesting. I would like to work on making mine. I mean, I don't like to use the word better, but in some ways, like I know that I've lost um some skill points just by not keeping up with it as much as I should be. So, like, things that I feel like at one point were really easy for me just to draw without reference are feeling kind of more difficult.
Yeah.
I don't know,
Yeah.
but I feel like that just kinda happens. And
Yeah.
fabric, I need to get better at fabric. I never bothered. Okay, so I should probably bother. 'Cause, like, I get to the clothes on my characters, and I'm just like, I just don't know. I just don't. I don't know.
It's so fun.
I you know, I, like, want it to be fun for me, and, like, I want it to be cool, but I just, like I think for now, like, I just my skill level isn't quite there where I
Mm.
want it to be for it to be, like, fun and cool.
Yeah, that makes
Does
sense.
does that make s yeah,
It makes total
like
sense. Kind of that early awkward stage where it doesn't feel good. You know?
yeah, which is why,
Like
like, with my last painting, I finally put armor on a character,
it
and, like,
looks nice.
I didn't go crazy with it, like, I didn't because some people do some, like, friggin' fantastic armor,
Yeah.
like, beautiful, complicated, I'm just like, "I'm gonna go simple
Yeah.
because that's what I need to do and
Yes.
to, like, learn."
Yeah.
But, yeah, so stuff like that. Also jewelry, I wanna get better at painting that. 'Cause look at all these things
Oh,
I wanna do.
it's so fun. Cabochons. I love
It's
painting
like,
cabochons. They're
what
so
is a
fun.
cabochon?
It's a very smooth, uncut gem, and so it's just like an oval circle. But like early tutorials for digital painting on the internet would go through how to make cabochons, and they talked about like
How do you spell this?
Cabachons, and it's just
Oh, wait, no. This is not what
addictively
I was
fun.
looking for. That's a dog.
Oh no!
Ca
Here,
Okay, CAVA.
B as in boy.
Oh, B. Caba
Yes. CHONS.
Okay, I found it.
Yes.
What a saga. Okay.
They are so fun to
Okay.
paint. They're so fun to paint. Come on.
Oh, so they can be, like, any color?
Yeah.
Okay, I get it now. Yeah.
Plus you can
Yeah,
make
I
them
can see
glow.
that those are fun to paint.
Yes.
Yeah, you can make them do anything you want.
Mhm. It's so pretty and fun.
I like the opals. I did an opal-inspired necklace today,
Ooh. That sounds
but
beautiful.
it's not, like, as dramatic as it could be because it's, like, in the shadow, so it's kind of dull, and I didn't put a lot of time into it because it didn't matter.
Yeah,
You
it's
know,
not the
like
focus of the piece, right? So,
yeah, exactly. So but
yeah.
that also it always kind of bums me out because sometimes I'm like, "I wanna put a lot of detail into this thing," and I'm like, "But, like, why?" Because then it just doesn't look right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You don't need
Like,
to. Yeah.
art is hard.
Art is hard, but it can also be fun. Cabbage shots. I
I
love
could get
them.
a knuckle tattoo. Art hard.
Mhm. Yes.
Like my art sucks knuckle tattoo.
Yep.
I was making that joke to someone else today.
It's really good. I like it.
Man.
So that's fun though. So it sounds like you want to do some studies.
Yeah, I think there's like I think one of the things that like is sometimes hard for us as artists to admit is like where we're feeling weak and where we need to practice,
Mm,
and like
yeah.
actually like I think one of the things that trips me up about practicing sometimes, not that I never practice because I do practice, but it's kind of like I feel like it's a quote unquote waste of time because I'm like, I can't post this practice on the internet, which is another whole internet trap, right?
It
Like, I
is.
never want to do anything unless I feel like I can post it to the internet, which is
Yeah.
so bad.
Yeah, I hate that feeling.
But it's like it feels like as an artist, like if you're not posting something on social media, what's the point? Because that's the only way that we get like exposure.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I just got to the point where I'm like, this is bad for me, and so fuck it. I'm here and I'm gonna do my art, and I will get to social media when I damn well please. And not any sooner. I'm like the cranky old lady now at this point, like I'm making my art and then I'll get there. I need the quiet space. I need the space to do
Yeah,
this stuff. I can't do it with all that noise. I just can't. It gets to me too much.
it's
So,
super hard. Like you just like catch yourself in thoughts and thoughts that are not productive to actually what you're trying to do
yeah. Yeah,
because you
exactly.
start to get affected by what you think will be good on the internet.
Yeah, exactly. Or what's popular, or I just
Mhm.
ugh. Yeah, I don't like my art being affected that way.
Yeah, it's yeah, that's why like this is controversial. I know for some people, but I'm obsessed with Pinterest.
Mhm.
And like I just save pictures to Pinterest and then I
Yeah.
just like look at that when I try to need to refocus. Like I have like a mood board and then
Yeah.
like for whatever painting I'm working on, I have images saved and like things so that I can like try to revert back to like what that original thought was.
Yeah, totally.
It's like a
I
good centering technique.
Yes. And I do something similar. I have one that I just have on my desktop and I just pull my reference photos onto it,
Yeah.
and that just that helps me
It's
remember.
like remember what you're trying to do here.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, agreed. And this isn't for everybody. Everybody can has different abilities to tolerate social media and work within it and work well with it. It's just not my skill set. And
Yeah.
it's not my mental health skill set either. So,
I do feel like it probably affects most people more than they realize.
maybe.
Like, because I think it's become like, especially for people that have always grown up with social media and like don't remember a time without it.
Mhm.
Like, I can imagine that gets very confusing and difficult.
Yeah.
Like people that are in college now, or like going into college, like they like the social media has been their entire life.
Oh, wow.
So it's like I think it's just so ingrained in like everyday activity and like it's like if you're not on social media, you don't exist. And I feel like that's a very common like idea that people have.
Yeah.
So
Ugh.
it's like if you didn't post it online, like it's like that tree thing. If no one heard the tree fall, like did it
Right.
even happen? Yeah, it's like the same thing with social media.
Yeah. And I mean, I understand that too. The algorithms, reward that kind of behavior, but that bugs me so much. Like that kind of social
Yeah.
engineering of our behavior bugs me so much. It just goes against so much of how I of things like I hate that feeling. So I don't know. And it's like you can't win. You cannot win. Okay, now I'm gonna sound like a crazy person, but like
Okay.
you can't win. They're gonna be constantly changing the algorithm to benefit them, to make you spend money. It's all about that. We're never in control of the platform. We're never going to be able to catch up to the race that they set. We can't win, you know? So
Mhm.
even if you do figure out how to make it work for a second, they're going to change it on you so you can't have it work the next minute. So what is the point of that race?
There isn't one.
Yeah. Agreed. I'm going to make my art. Pardon
It's
me.
true, and, like, I've had to let go of some of it, like, I just, I think I'm trying to do more and do less. Like, I'm trying to do more of it, but I'm trying to do less emotional labor with it. Does that make sense?
That makes total sense.
Like, more posts and more interactivity, but less worrying about it.
Yeah.
However, I can figure that out. Like, I'd like to stream this year,
Cool.
maybe. I have to get it set up and, like, figure that out. I did a poll today on Instagram and Twitter
Yeah?
about when people want to see art streams,
Mhm.
and Twitter said daytime and Instagram said nighttime.
Oh, wow.
So I'm like, it kind of makes sense. I'm like, yeah, I mean, everyone on Twitter is like on Twitter all day and at work. And like Instagram, I feel like is more for people that aren't constantly on the internet. I don't know. That's probably like a weird old person generalization. I don't know.
I don't know.
But like that's how it feels to me. Like I'm on Twitter a lot more than I'm on Instagram.
Yeah, me too.
I wonder why.
Mm.
Like I used to like Instagram a lot more than Twitter, but I'm kind of switching over. Um I think maybe because Instagram relies, I feel like more on your personal life than Twitter does. Like a lot of my
Oh,
interactions on Twitter
interesting.
and stuff are about like professional things or like what my friends are doing like casually, nothing like intimate, right?
Mhm.
But then like on Instagram people are like, showing things that like you wouldn't necessarily put on Twitter, like your food and like your drama and like all your selfies. Like, I mean, that's still on Twitter. I just feel like it's to a larger extent on Instagram.
Huh,
Like,
interesting.
I definitely post more personal things on my Instagram than I, not that I really ever post much at all on my Instagram, like, but like I posted when I was drinking on New Year's on Instagram, but on my own private thing. But I
Right.
wouldn't post that on my Twitter. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe that's not even true. I posted that picture of Malort with my apple pie the other day, but I just thought that was funny.
Yeah, it's a different feeling for sure. I don't know.
But yeah, we should circle back to talking about like the rejection and the acceptance waves.
Yeah, yeah. So you said that was something that you feel like you learned a little bit about last year and then are continuing to learn.
Yeah, and I think like something like I think more people and like in general in society we should think of things that way. But I think like even so many of like our stories are structured to be like there's always a peak, right?
Yes, yes.
And so we just kind of assume that's how things are supposed to be.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. I think I like to try to think about people in like other careers sometimes, and that tries to put it into a better perspective. Like actors, people will get an acting gig and then maybe not get another one for a while,
Yeah.
and then maybe they'll get a big break, but then like one hit wonders and stuff. That's kind of like a mean thing we say about people. Like they did one thing and then they couldn't do anything else,
Yeah.
and I'm like, so everyone goes through that. Like sometimes you'll have something that really resonates with a lot of people, but there's no guarantee that your things will keep resonating.
Yes. Yes.
Or and I think people tie that up into their worth, and then all of a sudden you're not as worthy as you were in
Yeah.
existence because you I don't know, I think that's a really tough like perspective that we have, and I think it's also a perspective that we wouldn't necessarily put on other people. Like you wouldn't put that on your family like, "Oh, you only did one good thing once." You know? Like, oh, you were popular then, but like now we don't like you because you didn't make a good enough painting. I don't know.
I don't know. There's so much pressure.
From your family?
Uh, there was at one point, but like,
Oh,
I think in general, I think for people to not be that one hit wonder and to not to be amazing, to be exceptional, to be
yeah.
the star, to be, I mean, I think it's a detrimental point of view because it doesn't allow for the failure that you're talking about. It doesn't allow for the practice and the journey that happens.
Mhm.
It's only that one outcome, that one possible thing. Yeah, it's something I've struggled with my whole life.
It's just it's not even realistic to think of think of things to be so consistent like that.
Yeah,
That's like saying, I don't know, you have to be a first grader and get an F and work your way up to a senior as high school with A's. Like, I it's gonna fluctuate forever,
yeah.
and that's really hard to come to terms with
It is really
because
hard to come to terms with.
you always just wanna hope there will be a big break, but, like, even,
Yeah,
like, what like, the trends I've seen with, like, other artists and stuff, even if they get that break, they still are facing rejection
yeah,
after that, even if
absolutely.
they're popular,
Totally. They're facing
and they still get
rejection.
turned down.
They're facing hard money years. Like it's up and down. It's constantly up and down. Uh
That's hard because it's like, so I'm always going to feel like this.
I know, right? Like, oh boy.
But
Uh,
I guess that's a societal problem where we have to, as a society, figure out that that's not how we should treat people. Like
yeah.
that's
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, and like yeah, I think putting value on the process, putting value on learning things and trying things and continuously trying, I think is such a better emphasis than winning.
exactly, and it's like I think I always try to remember like if I just keep trying, like then it'll be okay.
Exactly.
And I I think that's I think that's still even hard for me to, like, understand because 'cause I'm like, "Well, what if I keep trying and nothing ever happens?"
Mhm.
But at the same time, I guess you won't know unless you keep trying.
Yeah, exactly. Like if you stop, then it definitely won't happen.
Exactly. It's
I always like to think of art as the same thing as like a cabinet maker or some old school traditional craft person who's just whittling away at the wood, just kind of little by little, working at that beautiful scroll on that beautiful chair, that someday someone's gonna sit in. Maybe they'll like it, maybe they won't, but it's there. It's this beautiful chair. And it exists, you know?
Exactly.
But yeah, those are big fears. I've had those fears too. And you kind of have to come to terms with it. Um yeah. I think like you said that if you keep trying is just kind of the biggest lesson you can learn from art at all. It's just keep trying.
Yeah, and I think also, like, another thing is, like, you also have to learn that, and we've talked about this before, is that your art is not going to click with everyone,
No.
but on occasion, there's gonna be people where it clicks with, and that's when you will get accepted into things or get cool awards or whatever the heck you're
Yes.
going for. But it's just, your art could be really popular one second with a specific group of people and they're really into it, but then the next group, they're just not gonna care.
Mhm.
And that's also okay, and, like, learning to be okay with that,
Yeah.
and just accepting that, like, the the fact that your art resonates with anyone is great.
Yes. Yeah, it's really cool to have people buy your stuff. Yeah. So, Jess, do you have plans
Hmm.
for this year?
No.
That's all right. That's
I mean,
fine.
other than like there's those things I want to practice and maybe try to work on, and I'm gonna finish this little series that I'm working on, and I'm trying to decide where I want to end it.
Hmm.
I haven't quite decided yet. Like I've got like 3 different endings planned and I don't know which one I like. As in like am I going to end it with 5 pieces or am I going to end it with 7
Ooh.
or am I going to
Mm.
do either of those and then I also want to add some mini paintings maybe, like much smaller things
Hmm. Yeah.
that go along with it. And
Yeah.
I could do all of it. I don't know. I haven't decided. But I think I'll start with 5 and then decide where I'm at.
That sounds good.
Yeah, because it's what I don't know. As soon as I'm just one of those people, as soon as I start planning too hard, it just doesn't work out. Like,
That's all right.
yeah. So, and then for right now, I'm planning on doing a show in April. And I think for right now, that's the only thing I really have concrete plan.
Nice.
Um, but I guess I'll figure it out. I've been trying to like just in general apply for more things, not necessarily things you have to pay to apply for or like reaching out to more things.
Hmm.
I'm trying to get like better at that. I'm still kind of failing, but I think that's something that probably everyone can get better at.
Yeah.
Just kind of like putting yourself out there more.
Yes. Yep.
It's hard
It's really hard. Yeah. It's something I could be better at too, for sure.
because it's so like because especially once you get rejected from a place once, like it's hard to apply again, even though you have to, right?
Yes.
Like it's like because just because you get rejected once doesn't mean that that place doesn't want to hear from you again when you have new stuff.
Yes. Exactly.
And they'll tell you that, but it's so easy just to be like, no, you hate me.
It is. But it is important to keep trying, keep applying.
Exactly. Like, and eventually it'll happen. Because the more you practice, the more you keep trying, the better you're just gonna get.
Yes. And a lot of it is like name recognition stuff. So you're just like, hey, I'm a person, I exist, this is my art. And then you
Right?
like you get better.
Over and
Yeah.
over.
Yeah, you get better over time and then they're like, "Oh, wow, okay. They're getting really good. I remember their name, you know. Oh." Yeah.
Yeah, because sometimes they will start to remember eventually, but at first, like if they don't know your name, even good, you probably won't get accepted
Yeah.
because like there's no proof that you can actually like bring in money or attention or anything to the gallery or the show or
Right.
anything when you're a no name. So you're more risky. So
Right.
I think that's another thing that we all tend to forget about is it's also about, are you a risk or are you a definite going to help bring in money?
Mhm.
Um
Yeah.
because that's something that the people hiring artists think about.
Yes.
And even if they think you're the best ever, it might not be enough.
Exactly.
Though skill definitely helps, but
It definitely helps. But it's a lot of things. It can be so many things. It can be what's popular right now. It can be who you know. It can be just a lot of different things.
uh-huh,
It can
uh-huh.
be luck.
Yeah,
um
definitely.
you also do kind of get to know as you apply to a bunch of different things which things are worth your time applying for repeatedly. Because there are some things where you just don't fit the market at all. And so it's
Right.
you start to get to understand what that means and as you get to know your market. So then you can be like, well, I don't know if this is worth applying for, or if I do apply for it, I might need to do it in a different way. You know, like I figured out this year that like Comic Cons are probably not my market. I mean, I still might try
Mhm.
some different ones, but probably not. And if they are, then I would need to do probably not artist alleys and probably do a vendor table.
Mhm.
Um, and then they're so expensive, I'd have to split it with somebody. So it'd be worth trying to see how it went, but I kind of already know that it's not quite my market.
And
So
that's yeah, I mean that's good to know though.
yeah, so it
And
saves you time from applying to things that don't really fit your art. So you get to know that as you
sometimes
do
it's
it.
hard to tell.
It's
Like
fair.
like sometimes it
Yeah.
seems like things would fit, sometimes I don't know.
Yeah, it takes time to figure that out. It took me years. So, yeah. Even to just get a little hint. And I'm still learning. But, yeah. Yeah.
I think one of the most important things I learned this past year is that even the artists that I look up to or like that I see are doing really well and successful are also still really having a hard time. And like even though they have name recognition, it's still difficult. Like they still feel the same feelings that I feel.
Yes.
And they still struggle with, trying with consistent work or dealing with the ebbs and flows of how many people are going to buy your stuff this month or not, like
Yeah.
it's just a weird mercy to be at, especially as an independent seller.
Yeah.
It,
Yeah. And it seems to me that the market right now, in terms of like people having money to spend on art, is pretty tough. I think
yeah,
everybody's feeling it.
it's not great.
Yeah.
It's not the worst it's ever been, I guess, but also like I don't know, like the trends with art. I don't know how, like, I know what's trendy right now, but I don't know how trendy, like, buying art in general is right now. Does that make sense? Like
Yeah, I mean, I seem, maybe this is just a feeling. I don't have hard numbers, but like it seems to me that a lot of people talking about conventions this year, and actually for the last couple years, have said that sales have been down across the board. Um, that could be me just picking up on the people that are saying that, and maybe there's some people that are doing great, but that just seems to be my impression.
I mean, I think, like, certain things are really in right now. Fan art's really in, and that's what people really want.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's so people, I think, that do a lot of fan art, at least from what I can tell, or at least some fan art seem to be maybe not doing as bad. I'm not sure, though. I'm really not.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
But yeah, there's a good market in fan art right now.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's, yeah, interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know enough about how those sales are going. Hmm. Let's see. What else? I think I talked about what I was gonna do this year. Kickstarter. Did I talk about that Kickstarter? And then
You said you were gonna do it.
yeah, and then yeah, a couple commissions, and then I'm gonna. Oh, we'll see. I keep saying I'm gonna work on this project, but I really would like to work on my personal project that I've been wanting to do forever and haven't had the time or the spoons to do these last few years. But hopefully I will get to at least some painting on my personal
Do it.
stuff. I really want to. And then speaking of fan art, I also want to continue to do some of that just for fun. So we'll see. We'll
Sailor
see.
Moon.
I know I gotta finish painting her. I finished drawing her. I gotta paint her.
Do it.
She's on my list of things to do. Yeah, gotta finish that up. Just for fun. Just for fun painting time. Yeah. Oh, I kind of want to look into. I know some of our friends have done icons for games and stuff. And I want to look into maybe seeing what that would look like to put a portfolio together for that, because I really like painting stupid little normal everyday things or magic things. Really fun for me.
Did you say art for what you cut out?
Oh, assets, like icons.
Oh, asset art.
Like
Yeah.
icons
Yeah.
for games. I would love to do little icons for games.
You should, yeah. I mean, like, I feel like the easiest way to do that, like, is you should just put your art out there. Like, do some,
Yeah.
and
Mm-hmm.
like put it out there and say that it like you'll do it.
Yeah.
Because like
I
I
need.
think like there has been like a trend in like indie games and stuff of like doing more like quote unquote traditional looking games like art wise.
Mm-hmm.
Like did you see, I'll link it to you later, but that game Grease was all like
Yes.
it was all done traditionally, or a lot of it
Yes.
was.
Yes, I love
Yeah.
that game so much. It's so great.
Yeah. So
Um
I think there's opportunity there.
Well, I have tiny little tiny digital painting chops. They're like the skill is like small on the bar, but I think that it'd be a good way to start to put together at least a little bit of a digital portfolio.
Oh, yeah, do it. I mean, you
Mhm.
could I mean, there's no doubt in my mind that you could definitely pick that up very quickly. You just have to sit down and do it.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. And then that would be a nice little way to just have another little stream of income if I can make it happen. We'll see.
Well, it's at least something to like think about.
Yeah, I love painting little stupid things.
I do too.
It's just fun.
Just like I did like this little like altar thing like a few years ago with like a bunch of books and like little scrolls on it. It was
Mhm.
really fun.
Nice.
Just because like I don't know. It's I like doing little things too. Like I like little foods and
Yeah. I love painting potions. Like I could paint potions every day. It's just fun.
you yeah, you should just make some.
Yeah, I think so. I think I need to.
Yeah, especially if it's like if it's fun, like
Mhm.
go for it.
Think I need to. We'll
Yeah.
we'll see what time I have though this year. Cuz I always am like I want to do all these millions of things and then I'm like, you can do 3.
I know. I get that. Like I've got all this stuff from my game, like, and I've got a lot of art and stuff for it, but I'm just like I don't have I can't. I can't do like I just can't do that many projects at once.
Yeah, yeah, it's hard to juggle that.
Like I just don't have the discipline and focus at this point in my life.
Yeah.
Which sounds terrible, but it's just honest.
No, I don't think that's terrible at all. I think it's important to know your limits and your strengths and like what your working style and way is going to be. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hmm. So, any other thoughts?
No, no, not really.
You know, Bree, the one you were talking about,
Mhm.
it was done by a professional illustrator.
Right. Yeah, that's what I
Uh,
thought.
he's like, I think it's a guy. I think he's like super famous or something. Oh, Jess, it was a beautiful game.
I saw it. I didn't play it because it looked boring.
No, it's so good. It made me cry.
Really? I don't know.
Yes.
There's no farming in it.
All right, I respect that.
There's no farming and it's not Final Fantasy. I'm like a very specific market.
I understand because I'm a very similar market too. Yep.
Oh, yeah, I mean, it's got to be like I don't know. It's like yeah. There's this like game coming out that's like you just like have bunnies in a garden, and I'm probably gonna buy that.
Ooh.
Just like little bunnies.
You take care of the bunnies?
Yeah, I guess. And like you like move stuff around the garden and stuff. I don't really
Aw.
know anything else other than there's bunnies.
That sounds adorable.
I'm also patiently waiting for Cooking Mama, the new one, to come
Mm,
out for the Switch.
nice.
Yeah, like if I could only play cooking games forever, I guess that would be okay.
They're
But
pretty
not
great.
actual cooking.
Only games.
Yeah, I'm really terrible at it. Like everything I make, everything, unless it's like microwavable or something, I'm just like, this isn't good. This is crap. This is crap food. I tried, but it's crap. Then Gray is usually like, I think it tastes good. And I'm like, no, it's crap.
Oh.
I just can't. Something about like making my own food just makes it taste bad.
Hmm. Aw.
Just like, I don't know. I just want French fries.
Oh, French fries sound great.
And those are like, you can't make French fries.
You can make French fries. What are you
Okay,
talking
I
about?
can't. That's like, you know what I mean. I just want French fries in like a fryer, and you know how much work it is to like fry things at your house.
It
Get all that
is.
oil. Like,
Yeah,
I don't
no.
know. That's just like way too much work.
It is way too much work. That's why I'll bake mine instead of doing that because it's too much work.
Like, I don't know. I also just need to get better at cooking. Like, I made a stew this week. Just like,
Mm.
I just didn't do it right. I mean, like, I did it fine, but like, I think I cooked it too long because then it got mushy. The struggle.
It's okay. You don't have to be good at everything.
Yeah, I just want it to be edible, you know?
Yeah, true.
It's fine. I'll just stick to art. And my plants aren't going well either. My basil that I've been growing for months got some sort of incurable fungus.
Oh, shoot.
Uh,
It happens with plants for sure. They're like, hi,
they're so
suddenly.
difficult. Like suddenly dead.
Yep. Yep. That's okay. Basil is hard to grow. And art is hard to do.
Yeah.
There. I've brought it back. To our topic of art.
Good job.
Thanks.
I'm over here getting distracted by Twitter again.
Oh no.
Things are trending.
Oh
I gotta
no.
leave them trending.
Oh no. Okay, before we go on to that, are we good?
I know. Okay.
I think we're good. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you for hanging out with us on this very silly end of the conversation. And you have been listening to Through Dangers Untold. Our logo was created by Karen Hodo, and you can find her online at kmhododesigns.com. And you can find me at sonnettShelline.com. And I'm sometimes on social media when I feel like it. On Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, at Sonnett Shelline. But if you say hello, I will say hello back. But anyway, okay. And just where can they find you?
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at JRUBishop, which is my initials and my last name. And my website is jessicarubishop.com.
And thank you so much for listening. And please join us on February 12th for our next discussion. And we'll see you next month.